to check out the latest Automobilista 2 update. Oh, we're back. We're back. We're ready to see what has changed in the game. How's everyone doing? That was a fast return, wasn't it? Fastest return you've ever borne witness to. Got to get the goggles straight here. So we've got AMS2 with the latest update. This update, for those of you that have missed it, the update is the Endurance Pack Part 1, version 1.5.5.0. Is it good? Is it bad? Is it game-changing? What is the game? Who's the change? What's changed? Where are we? What's my name? Say my name. Let's host a session with the new content. Welcome along. Click the subscribe button. Click the like button. New Year's happening in a minute. German New Year in 30 minutes. British New Year in 1.5 minutes of hours of a quarter. Here we go. I'm going to create a server here with the new cars, and we're going to see if it's any good, if the game has been changed. And quite frankly, if it hasn't, I'm going to quit sim racing. Oh, the go-kart. The go-kart oval racing is still on the screen from last time. The ultimate sim racing format. Gamer Muscle is the server. Gamer Muscle. Live. Password is T. Right, here we go. And then, right, what's the new car? Where's the new stuff? Hang on. Cross carts aren't new, no. LMDH. Should we try LMDH? Or what's it? What is the new? Is it just LMDH cars? Is that the only new ones? LMDH. Is that it? Is that all of them? I can't remember. It might be some GT stuff as well. Any other cars? Just LMDH. LMDH is certainly new, so we'll just put that on. And we'll go. What do I pick? We'll start with the Porsche. Oh, and the GT3. That's it, yeah. But I mean, it's GT3. It's all GT3. It's all the same. Opponent settings. Maximum grid size 28. Fill with AI. No. Oh, here we go. We've broken this already. Turn that off. Where's LMDH? Where are you? Where's LMDH gone? Where is it? Ah, there we go. There we go. Done. Hang on. There we go. Perfect. Let's do Silverstone. We got our crazy weather settings. Let's just put it on something normal for now. Heavy rubber, 4 laps, start time in the morning. Here we go. Perfect. Brands Indy. Marky's good, and I'm already more excited for Endurance DLC 2. GTE cars, yes, we need more GT3. DTM, GT, everything, GT, everything. GT, DT, DT3. Right. Who's joining this? Game of Muscle Live. 5 laps. Oh, quali. There we go. We need quali. There we go. Alright, let's see how this goes. I don't think we've done this with this streaming setup, actually. I don't have any sparklers now. I'm just going to say Happy New Year and then bang DD wheel on my forehead. "4K resolution, eh?" Right, here we go. That's that. We're ready. Rules and regulations. Perfect. Let's go. Will anyone get in the server? The last game-changing update of 23, that's for sure. Oh, I hope we can get back into the game. Hang on a minute. Oh, please work. Oh, there we go. They're socks at Fanatec Centres. Right, I'm just gonna start driving, and then people can join in if they want to. We'll see what this handle's like. Welcome along, guys. If you join us on YouTube, you can click the like button, you can subscribe, and you can bang your forehead against a wall. Tire compound, soft, medium, hard, then wet. That's how we do it. Right, well, let's just get out there and drive straight away. Let's see how this compares. Okay, first of all, can't see anything because of the type of car. Oh, God. Oh, my goodness. The battery. What is going on? Oh man, it's a well aggressive TC. Okay. This is a bit of a weird vehicle. Well aggressive TC. Oh, look at it. Look at the windscreen wiper. How do you change view in this? That's true, Tabs. You're correct. I mean, it's an absolute drift beast. What? Brake boss is too far to the rear. Search for Gamer Muscle Live if you want to join our server. Oh, why does it not want to turn in? Oh dear. Yeah, well, it is something going from AC to AMS too. That's for sure. It drives like it's a single wheel. It's a brick car, a drift brick, a hovercraft. That is what it drives like. It's like you're driving one single wheel. Very strange. Yeah, it's like a grippy hovercraft. It's very weird to get your head around when you've been playing AC. bit weird. Camera's just staring at concrete. I don't know what that's about. Right, let's so weird, guys. Like, the force feedback's really good. I think the sound's quite nice. My bunker's not under sea level, we're alright. It's a... Yeah, it's weird. Like, the best way of describing it is it feels like you're driving a single wheel. like a single individual wheel. It's so weird. Well, a motorcycle's got two wheels. I'm Robin. Well, it's nice and easy to drive. Flywheel traction. It's so weird. It's such a weird sensation after having played a lot of AC. Yeah, it's weird. It's really weird. It's yeah, it's just very strange. I mean, it just feels like Automobilista 2, doesn't it? This is how it is. It's like you're just driving a rubber slab, a single rubber slab wheel. It's so weird. You don't get this feeling in R-Factor 2 race room, iRacing or AC or AMS1. If you want to join the server, it's called Game of Muscle Live. No password. Game Stranger. Oh, we're going to go through each one. Happy New Year! Those of you having a New Year! New Year! Yeah! I mean, the force feedback's quite nice. But you know what? Like, to me, it drives like you're on one wheel. Like you're on a singular rubber brick. That's the only way I can describe it. No, this is just the default setup. It doesn't really want to turn in on the brakes so much. Thanks for subscribing, welcome. That's what I mean, it's like it's just a single wheel, almost as if there's no suspension, and almost as if that single wheel just responds immediately to the pedals. I don't know. It's so bizarre. When you played a lot of AC in R-Factor 2. I mean, the force feedback's quite nice. Like, the force feedback makes it feel a lot better. Like, I don't know. One wheel's all you need. Oh, it does not slow down. As much as I think it would. Hello, Mike. Just trying to get my head around this car. Yeah, well, they have the same sort of general nature to it. Project Cars 2. AMS2 is a lot more polished than Project Cars 2. I think the GTE cars were quite good in Project Cars 2. But then it felt like the cars had like balloon tyres. Just let them go past. I'll just turn the TC off. The way TC is in this game, I don't think really makes any sense. Oh, too much throttle there. That's really weird. You'd expect it to like just light up and spin, not just slowly slop out. Use iRacing for stress relief. Well, you have to pick the right car for iRacing stress relief. Like Skippy or something. She's spinning people out. What were you doing? Well, the problem with iRacing's great until you get to the limit, and then it completely breaks down. So, I mean, I think iRacing is. If iRacing's tyres weren't broken, it would be it'd be pretty similar to R Factor 2 and AC and AMS1. If it didn't have that issue of the tyres getting stuck over the limit, I think iRacing would be relatively similar to those other sims. So it's hard to compare this to iRacing. Like, under the limit, iRacing feels pretty natural. You know, like, it doesn't seem massively off or anything. The problem is if you're racing, you're basically getting the car to the limit through every corner. So it's a bit of an issue with iRacing. This just feels wonky. Yeah, well, the problem is if you're truly driving at the limit in a sim, you're going to slightly go over it technically and counter steer, and then it will just come back. So that driving at the limit involves kind of driving over the limit in a sense, and you can't. If you try and like counter steer us going over, or you push into a corner, it just doesn't work in iRacing. You have to do everything as like a power slide, or like, you know. So that's why, like, I just say you can't drive at the limit properly, like, at all, because driving at the limit involves going over the limit a little bit at times. Well, these cars are super rigid in reality. Yeah, I mean, it's just weird. It's just weird how AMS2 just... There's no, like... Oh, it's very hard to explain. It's just weird. Happy New Year, Ephemos! So you have, like, with real cars, you have, like, a sensation of, like, grip state. And then you have a sensation of slip state. Obviously, in reality, there's like a infinitely detailed transition between grip and slip, and it can happen fast and slow. There's no like. This just has like a weird. It's like you're always sliding. The force feedback helps a lot though to get rid of that feeling. I mean, you are always sliding in a real car, but I don't know. It's so weird. Like if you play R Factor 2 AMS 1 AC, you'll know what I mean. There's like a really fundamental difference in how the cars are handling. I don't know which force feedback I'm using. I think it's default plus. The force feedback seems fine. Like it's feels quite nice and detailed. The handling's a bit weird. There's no password on the server. I can feel the tyre slip. It's just the physics of the car. The force feedback's fine. It's like it feels like you're just driving a single tyre. The car doesn't feel like four wheels on suspension. It feels like you're driving a rubber brick. Happy New Year, Coco. There's something weird about AMS2. It's like Reezer have done the best they can, and they've, you know, like the speed of the cars, this sort of general stability they've got quite well. So it doesn't auto bin you like it used to. It's very forgiving, but it's weird. It's so weird, like, because there's cars in R Factor 2 that are mental in terms of how much you can slide them, but they drive like cars still in a, you know. It could be because it's gone to a race session. Well, we're going racing here. I think this car sounds nice though. It's like I don't know. Maybe it's the way the diff works in AMS2. I don't know. It might not be the diff. There's just something really weird about how the cars respond to braking, accelerating. It's as if you've got an open diff and also a locked diff at the same time. Ah, you live in the future, Thomas. Yeah, I mean, it's probably not the diff. You know, however the tyres can make loads of things feel different in different ways, but Thomas is in the future. What a cheat. Are we using the default fixed setup? Fixed setup, guys. No aero boying. The default setup seemed okay. Oh, we're just going to try the different cars here. I don't understand how... It's like with iRacing. I don't understand how people can play iRacing and ignore the tyres at the limit entirely and just be like, oh, it's alright. And then I don't understand how people can play this and then not play... I don't know how you could play this and then play R Factor 2, AC, AMS 1 and not be like, yeah, there's something really weird about... or even Race Room. Like, it's just... I don't get the feeling I'm driving a car in this. iRace's pricing model. I mean, I don't know. It is what it is. I think they could. They should just do a more expensive monthly subscription and have all content available. I think would be a better system. I think having a sub plus content divides the user base, and most people that play iRacing would actually be happy to pay more if it meant they got all the content and didn't have to think about it. Hello, Izzy. Hello, Robley J. Caesar's greeting. T1 Carnage. Yeah. We're just checking out this latest update. AC started to feel more simple and empty. In what way? There's a lot more random noise in the force feedback in AMS2. But the AMS2 physics are bloody weird. So yeah, I don't know. I think the extra effects in the force feedback might be clouding your judgment. Why did my car not slow down? Sorry, guys. I thought that would be enough brake. It was not enough brake. Nobody would use AMS2 to train for real driving. Let's put it that way. It would be ridiculous. You would never have a sim center. You could use AMS2 to demo monitors and things, but you would be sued if you used this to train for real driving. If you suggested to use this, it would be ridiculous. R Factor 2, AMS1, AC. I don't have the knob set up. I can see how these cars are fun to drive. Yeah, they're very easy to drive, which I think is good, and they're very obvious. As I say, it's like driving a single wheel. The brakes could be a bit. The brakes aren't as strong as what I'd expect with this type of car. But you just adjust to that. It's like the trail braking doesn't make... It's like the weight doesn't go onto the front of the car. When you brake and then turn, it's like you're turning by removing the grip from the rear tyres rather than turning by moving the weight to the front of the car. That's why I think it feels like you're driving a single... like a single rubber brick, because it's like the weight of the car is irrelevant in this sim. In Race Room, R Factor 2, AC, AMS1, when you brake and then turn from the brake, it feels I don't know what the truth is, but it feels like you've moved the weight to the front, and then the fronts bite into the road accordingly. AMS2, it feels like the turning is due to you just reducing the grip off the rear tyres, and then the car's so controllable. Yeah, I mean, the force feedback's fine in AMS2. To be honest, I can feel what the car's doing. I can feel what's going on with the car. I've always liked AMS2 force feedback. I think it's fine. I think it's the physics are just a bit weird, but it's got some like I like the force feedback. Like I'd have this force feedback in other sims, I wouldn't mind, and you can adjust it. Well, thanks for subscribing. Welcome. Like, I think the handling is, in a sense, somewhat simplistic in AMS2, which I think makes it easier to drive. It's the same thing with Project Cars 2. It's very forgiving over the limit, which isn't necessarily that's not necessarily a bad thing. And then it basically, because I'm not sure if this is what's going on, but conceptually, if you think of the brake pedal as removing grip from the rear tyres and that turns the car in, but ignore weight going forward, so don't expect the car to like actually move around the track like you would think in other sims. You're just rotating the car and slowing down, but you're rotating on the spot, and then the accelerator also removes grip from the rear but makes you go faster. If you conceptualize it like that, then the physics makes sense in my head. Whereas in R Factor 2 and AC, the way I think of it is more like when you lift off the brake, the weight of the car's going forwards, and you've got the mass of the vehicle, and then you have to use that, and then you lean on the tyres, and then you try not to lean too much on the rear left or whatever, the specific tyre. So same in R Factor 2. I'd say R Factor 2 is a little bit more brutal than AC. iRacing as well. Exactly the same. Yeah, the off-road stuff's alright in AMS2, I thought. It's weirdly very grippy, which is not necessarily wrong for, off-road tyres. I can't really do the rally cross because it makes me motion sick. Why is this? Let's turn the TC off. No, I just drive in AC. We seem to be, when I've got an alright setup, we seem to be finishing in the top 6 in the top split in AC, LFM, TCR, LMP3, F3 car probably top 10, but I have not practiced it much. Yeah, I think I'd describe AMS2 as just being a bit simplistic in its handling. Which is weird because the tyre model is a more complex tyre model. It's there's more, it's simulating more than well, I mean not necessarily more than R Factor 2, but more than Race Room, AC and AMS1, but it drives more simple. Now I find you can just turn TC off in AMS2 because the sliding is so progressive and slow. You can just, and the TC is so abrupt, you can just drive with it off. Just be careful on the throttle pedal. Well, I don't know. There's no lack of force feedback in AMS2. Like, I mean, I don't know what wheel you're using, but the force feedback's pretty detailed in AMS2. It's way more detailed than R Factor 2, way more detailed than iRacing. Like, I can feel what's going on with the car. I don't know what specific areas. You can feel the braking, you can feel the mid-corner. You can, yeah. The force feedback's fine in AMS2. It's nice and sharp and responsive. there we go. Nice third place. Not bad. We'll try the next car. Yeah, well, the suspension. I'm not sure if well, you can feel the suspension. That's when you brake and you feel it load up. That's normally from suspension. I mean, it depends. It can be from other things. But yeah, I think it's just the physics, because when you trail brake into a corner in AMS2, it's like you're just rotating the rear. It's not like you're loading the front up and then the car's following through. It's literally like you're minusing grip off the rear wheels. Like in AC and R Factor 2, it's like you're moving the weight forwards, the grip is going to the forward, so the grip has been reduced on the rear, but then whatever's going on, it's like the car drives as if the front is loaded up and maybe the rear diffs may be looser in some ways, or it's not like you're just minusing, like you're more prone to rotating. It's more like you're turning into the corner as opposed to rotating and then going through the corner. If that's what it seems like. I don't know what the actual underlying reason is, but that's the best way I could describe it. Same in iRacing does it as well. Yeah, I think that's that, and I think that's when people are describing that central rotation thing. That's how they're perceiving the same thing that I'm talking about, where it feels like the car just rotates on a central point because it doesn't feel like you're turning through the corner. It feels like you're on a train line and the back is turning more or less. Do you know what I mean? I think that's why people think it's like a middle wheel, and as I say, it feels like the cars in AMS2 feel like you're driving a single wheel, like a brick. Yeah, no, like even if you open the diff or change all those settings, it just changes how snappy the car is for rotating. It doesn't really change the you're always stuck with the tire model of a sim. Like, it's like you can change the setup in AC, but it still feels like AC. Change the setup in iRacing, still feels like iRacing. Let's try this BMW hybrid. Let's reduce quality time. But I mean, it's drivable. Like, I think if you haven't played a lot of driving sims, and you don't notice these things. And like also if you're on a gamepad, I was playing AMS2 on a Steam Deck, and it's quite drivable on the Steam Deck. It's a little bit tricky. I couldn't get gyro handling to work too well, but the counter steer assist is really good when you're playing with a gamepad and quite satisfying. And it doesn't really give you too much of an advantage. It just means that you can drive with a gamepad without it throwing you off the track, which is quite fun. Right, let's try this. Yeah, well, a lot of the time tyre noises can make it feel grippy or not grippy. I always think as well, I'm surprised that more sim devs don't make the tyre scrub sound more deeper, like a lower pitch tyre scrub, because that sounds more grippy than a high pitch tyre scrub sound. Like, the thing is, real cars often have, especially... It depends on the tyres. It depends on the compound you're driving on in real life, and often you can't hear what the tyres are doing anyway in a cockpit car. But if you do realistic tyre scrub sounds in a driving sim, it can feel from the audio less grippy. Whereas if you had a tyre scrub sound that was lower pitch and incorrect, it would sound more grippy and make up for the lack of grip sensation you have in a sim. But devs don't really do that. I'm surprised they don't, because it's a pretty obvious way to make things feel more grippy through the audio, and it does that, and it would have quite a big psychological effect. Only Fools Gaming. Do I feel oversteer in iRacing is broke? Yeah, it is. What it is the tyres. They flash overheat when you go over the limit, or you slide the tyres in iRacing. The tyre surface or part of the contact patch, part of it overheats, and the heat doesn't disappear. So when you counter steer, it adds in more heat because you're putting more slip and more reaction onto you're putting more movement into the tyre, which causes it to heat up more, which causes it to lose more grip, which makes the slide worse. So when you're doing tank slappers, the tyre will have gone hot in iRacing, lost grip, you will catch it, the car should have stabilised. In fact, it'll react. It will actually react initially, but then even when you should have settled down, the tyres are stuck in the heated temperature and the low grip, and so it's still going. It's like the tank slap. You've caught the tank. You've literally caught the slide, and there's nothing you can do. You have to learn not to catch slides. You have to drive iRacing into power slides, and you need to turn the audio up in iRacing so you can hear the tyre skid sound, because you can use the tyre skid sound to know if you're approaching the limit. The force feedback doesn't let you know. And then basically you always drive on, like really on, not over at all, or slightly under the limit in iRacing. Use the tyre skid sound and know exactly what sound it is before you get to the limit. And then you drive into the corners into a power slide effectively. Not an aggressive, like a mild power slide. So you're not correcting it. You like already set the car up into the corner, and you might correct the rear a little bit, but you're not like you would in R-Factor 2, AC or Race Room. That's how you drive iRacing. ACC, the problem with that is you don't crash when you go over the limit because the tyres don't have the iRacing physics issue of turning off. But in ACC, when you slide, you get stuck in a slide that you can't. You can move the wheel, and the car you won't lose the car. Like the car won't keep rotating and you crash. But you'll notice when you're in one of the slides in ACC, you can move your wheel and nothing happens with the car. It's in a passenger slide. It's like it's on rails. And once you're in any of the slides in ACC, you're just losing time. There's nothing you can do. And it's like a binary thing of, oh, you're on the limit, you're under the limit, oh, you've gone a bit over the limit, passenger slide. You don't crash, so it's better than iRacing in many ways, but it's just like a binary fail condition. It's shit. But for some reason, people all overlook it. It's not a problem in AMS1, not a problem in Race Room, not a problem in AC1, not a problem in R-Factor 2. Obviously, every sim's got its quirks, but yeah, ACC's terrible. So's iRacing, really. But people get into it, they learn how to drive it, and then they have fun online racing, so. Hello. Bloody hell. Oh, it's because it's on full. No, LFS is pretty good, to be honest. I used to play it a lot. So the thing is, if a sim can do autocross and very tight and responsive drifting, normally that scale. So with a drift car, it has loads of controllable slip, as you'd expect. It's like car setup and the wheels you've got on it and everything. But even a Formula 1 car should have controllable slip. So if a sim should be able to do really, really drifty cars, and then it should get scale up and be tighter and tighter and tighter, all the way up to like Formula 1 and like go-karts where it's just super, super pokey. But basically, it's the same principles. It's the same things going on. It's just in a much tighter time frame and more responsive and quicker and less controllable slip. But that's all cars drive like a rental go-kart to like a radical. That's what I've been in. They all drive the same. Like they have different handling characteristics, but the tyres all act like tyres with different amounts of grip and stuff, but they all have the same general. Yeah, like if you go skiing, if you can ski on different length skis, different oiled skis, different manufacturers of skis, but they all behave like skis. You know what I mean? You could carve totally differently. Some let you carve tighter, some will let you stop sooner, some work better on powder snow, some have more, you know. But they are all skis. That's the thing with tyres. It's the same. They're all tyres. think the external sound seem alright. I don't know, I've just driven out of the pit lane. Well, this is default setup. The pork is more pokey and on rails. The BMW is more progressive in grip loss. Fully rubbered in road surface. How does snowboarding? Well, I ignored snowboarding, but it's weird because you're on the single plank. But last time I went snowboarding, I got a concussion, so it's definitely not like skiing or rollerblading. I got the hang of it eventually, but snowboarding's a bit weird. But yeah, all snowboards will be like snowboards, but you're standing on it sideways, so the process is different. I tell you what, wakeboarding is way harder than water skiing and snowboarding and snowblading and rollerblading. Wakeboarding is so hard. I don't know, maybe the boat that was pulling me wasn't going that fast, I don't know. I'd love to try that kite boarding thing, but that's probably the most insane thing. Like, you've got to work out how to manage the kite, get on the board. But yeah, wakeboarding, I mean, I've never had so much salt water up my nose. I managed to get on it once. The problem is with a wakeboard, it's so hard to get on it initially. Once you're going, same with water skiing is a lot easier. Once you're going, it's not too bad, but that initial... Wakeboarding's harder than bloody surfing. Skimboarding is easier than wakeboarding. I mean, geez, I don't know why it's so hard. I think it's because you're being pulled. Well, I guess with skiing, you've got the weight on both knees at the same time, so it distributes the load, and you're not doing that whole lifting one knee up and having one knee down. And yeah, because the problem with skiing is when you turn, you're putting like 80% of the load on one single knee, which is never on a snowboard. You're always having the load on both legs, so that's probably what that is. And both legs will always be at the same height. I mean, if you've ever gone over moguls, yeah, twisting whilst having your knees at different heights, whilst having all your body weight on a single knee, can't be good for you. That's why I prefer snowblades, to be honest, as well, because they're smaller, they don't have the same purchase on the snow, and it can't really twist your knee as much because you just can't turn as much because they don't have as much bite. Same with rollerblades, they can't really twist your knees that much. Yeah, I don't like skiing, to be honest. I like snowblading and I like rollerblading. I'd quite like to do more. I need to lose weight and then I'll try snowboarding again. I'm too fat. Like, if I fell over badly, I'd really hurt myself. But as I said, last time I went snowboarding, I got a concussion. So at Tamworth Snow Dome years ago. To be fair, I was trying to jump over a Mini, so and Snow Dome snow is terrible. So there's no. I do snowboarding on powder. Indoor fake snow, well, real fake snow is the worst. Like, it's so hard. Yeah, on a windy day, you just get pulled across the land. I've seen the videos of it. Yeah, if you live in Devon, on Exmouth, near what's it called? Where's the SAS training centre? Well, not the SAS, it's the British. What is it? The Royal Marines. Is it Topsham? They do a lot of kite surfing there all the time. Looks quite good fun. No, not Dartmoor. It's north of Dartmoor, on the coast of Exeter. So a good thing with MS2 is the game engine runs really nicely. I've got to turn the graphics up actually, and we're not capturing off this computer. I think this car sounds good. Brick and beacons. Oh, we've got 30 minutes until the end of this year. Going for the full drift here. The engine note on this car is nice, how it sounds like it's behind you. Oh, are you guys excited? There'll be a general election this year. Now that they've done their budget early, I'm going to vote for UKIP. Oh dear. I'm going to set my own political party. I was like, how about you had the Boston Tea Party? Oh my god. I'm gonna create a political party called the British Tea Party. That'll confuse everyone. Gesundheit. That's it, Rory. Good choice. Yeah. I'm voting Tory because I secretly want to kick homeless people in the face, and I feel the Tories are the best party to allow me to have that dream fulfilled. Like metaphorically, not literally. But I think if we keep voting Tory, we'll be able to do it literally. So, you know, it always starts off metaphorically, and then over time, you then get to a point where you can just assault people that are unfortunate, and then you can because you can blame them for a situation that's entirely outside their control a lot of the time. Happy New Year! Hello, Matt. Yeah, well, you know. I mean, like, I'm pretty sure. I don't think we'll have any legitimate Tory voters in chat. Like, you would either have to be, I don't know. Like, it's unlikely that someone that does sim racing would have the. Oh, hello. DRS wank. Thanks for the raid. That's a good idea, Rory. Rory the Tory. Thanks for the raid, DRS. DRS wank. Is it Dr. Swank? Is it Dr. Swank? But to me, it's. Is that? Are you doing it? Was it meant to be DRS wank? Was that the joke? Or is it meant to be Dr. Swank? It's like someone that really hates Formula 1. Well, apparently I'm slow in this car. This felt a bit more natural to drive than the Porsche. Nice cockpit graphics. Yeah, right. I do not understand DRS, right? Well, I do get it, because it gives the illusion of racing, and that's good enough for business. But I would rather have no overtakes, or very few overtakes, but the overtakes that happen are due to the faster car overtaking a slower car that's a lot slower. Or I would rather have no overtakes in a race at all and no DRS. Every DRS overtake is not an overtake, it's just shit. Also, if you didn't have DRS, you know what would happen? Car can't overtake. Okay, I know there's a scenario where you have like 5 meter gaps and everyone's staggered, but I would wager at some point in the field there will be someone that can catch the car in front, or they'll do a pit strategy, or something will happen, or someone will have damage, or whatever, that means that there will be legitimate overtakes. It might not be the norm, you might still get staggered car convoy racing a lot of the time, but I would rather have that than stupid DRS pass. Sendy he really wants. Well, it is a parade with DRS. I don't see the difference, right? If someone overtakes with DRS, which is every overtake pretty much, like very rarely, occasionally, you do have cars doing a little bit of side by side, but ultimately then the tyres wear out regardless, so it's all pointless. Yeah, there's no point in it. It's a superficial way to go, oh, there's been an overtake, oh, there's overtakes. So what? I'd say what, like 95 to 99% of overtakes in Formula 1 is a car driving down the straight because their car's already faster than the car in front, and them just doing a DRS pass. It's like, well, what was the point? Like the most compelling stuff in the 90s and early 2000s in Formula 1 was when you had a yellow flag or a slow car in front or a car with a bit of damage that meant that the faster car still had to work to get past them, and the slower car could still defend a bit, and you would have like 1 or 2 laps of like this going on, and the tension of, oh, this car deserves to be in front but they still need to get past. That was like... And then what, like the virtual safety car? Just have a proper safety car. I'd bring back refueling and have a safety car, and then allow the cars to bunch up and go for it at the start, or do a full restart. Yeah, no, I'm right. No, refueling's fine, because the cars can catch on fire, which is exciting. Well, yeah, but guess what's fun to watch? Unsafe sport. Oh, I'm not going to do base jumping, it's too dangerous. Oh, I'm not going to do skydiving, it's too dangerous. Oh, I don't want to become an astronaut, it's too dangerous. It's like, the reason why people think Formula 1 is like really exciting is because in the 50s, 60s, well, 30s up to like 2000s, it was genuinely dangerous. That's what made it exciting, because you wouldn't do it yourself. Genuinely, you'd be like, oh, you're mental. It's like watching the Isle of Man TT. It's like, I wouldn't do that. So that's what makes it exciting to watch, because you're like, oh, shit, that's well stupid. Yeah, people are being cocked into sucking off rich people when it's of no concern to them. Like, yeah, the race drivers should totally be fighting for it to be as safe as possible for them. But viewers of the sport shouldn't really care. The only reason they did all the safety stuff in Formula 1 is because sponsors didn't want to be associated with Oh, hello. With drivers dying because it looks bad for business. But so that's why you still have like Isle of Man TT and stuff, but no one cares because it's not that popular. So the big brands don't worry about the drivers dying as much. No, I'm indifferent to rich people. I'm not gonna. I don't put rich people in a separate category. The irony with motorsport is, look at all the less rich you are, the less safety you have in the sport. So the less rich you are, you'll be driving in lower series that don't have halo, don't have as much medical facilities, you know, because no one cares about poor people. But you have to pretend that they do, that everyone's equal. It's all a load of bollocks. It's just people just lap it up. It's really bizarre. Yeah, you don't want people to die base jumping or doing Isle of Man TT. Oops. You don't want things to be needlessly dangerous, but you're like, hang on. Oh dear, there we go. It's very inconsistently safer for very rich people than it is for less rich people. Oh my god, what is going on here? Yeah, people worship rich people because there's more advertising behind the rich people. So it's like how people. Oh my god, I think we've absolutely bought the car here. It's like how people think that Pol Pot or Stalin or, you know, whatever dictator, they're like, or in North Korea, they're crying over their dear leader dying, even though that dear leader's been starving the population. It's because that's just, you know, people see a lot of that. They see posters of this person, so the person gets turned into like a godlike figure, and then a large percentage of people buy into that. And that's exactly what happens with like famous people. It's just like a Western capitalist equivalent. We've got a slight problem here. What is going on? Oh, Happy New Year in 15 minutes. It is. It's a cult of personality. Oh, I cannot see the road. My bonnet's stuck on. Can we, like, knock the bonnet off? Oh, my goodness. It's not the new year yet. We've got 15 minutes. I just bloody spun this car as well. Yeah, no one clicks the like button. You need to refresh it. But if you click the like button, you'll get larger. Yeah, well, look, I have more. So I'm like middle class. As a result of that, I live in a nicer house. I'm able to do YouTubing, you know, and then that means that I'm able to buy more healthy food. I'm generally reasonably educated on how to feed and cook myself. I don't have to worry too much about buying fruit and vegetable and things. And yeah, if you're wealthier, you can get private healthcare. You can book in doctor appointments more easily. You've got more free time to go do those kind of things. So even like me, like anyone, there's a hierarchy of when you're up to a limit of wealth, you have more, yeah, better, nice shirts. You know, it's casually ignored, isn't it though? Like, because Britain likes to pretend there's no class system. Whereas actually we do have a ridiculous class system, but in denial. Yeah. Yeah, I know I'm a filthy streamer. Well, I don't. Stephen has it, doesn't he? I'm gonna pick it up tomorrow off him. Well, yeah, so the problem in the last 20, 30 years is the wealth gap. Oh my goodness. The wealth gap has only increased. So Britain and a lot of America, a lot of countries are richer as a whole, but the wealth gap has increased so that you have a very small number of people that are stupendously rich, and a huge number of people that are, well, a moderate number of people that are moderately well off, and then you have a decreasing middle class, and then you have a massively increasing lower class or whatever, I don't know, like poverty, below the poverty line level. So, and that, that's not me being socialist or woke or anything. Like the data's just there. Yeah, well, let's see if we can knock the bonnet off. Hang on. Off! Okay, that did the trick. No. That worked. Nailed it. Why won't it come off? What do I need to do to get this up? Let's just drive into a wall. Ah, there we go. Perfect. That's better. I've just got visual damage on. This car looks better without a bonnet. Yeah. Just needed a bit of the old fix by hammer. Sounds like I'm driving a baked bean tin can or something. Oh no! The last DD girl of the year, Chad Rizzler. DD girl with a DD wheel. What a babe, what a beauty, what a sexy lady. It's a DD girl with a DD wheel. Perfectly formed servo motors for her legs. It's a DD girl with a DD wheel. Beautiful, shiny, electronic lady. It's a DD girl with a DD wheel. Rotating in Chad Rizzler's bed. Everybody needs a DD girl. Put a DD girl in your sim ring. It's the last DD girl of 2020, 2020, 2020, 2023. DD girl with a DD wheel. What a babe, a beauty, a sexy lady. It's a DD girl, DD girl, DD girl with a DD wheel. Chad Rizzler's DD girl, rotating in his bed tonight. She watched the fireworks. She undressed, she showed him his double DD breast. There she goes again, disappearing off into the sunset. She's recharging, using a 350-watt power supply from China to catch on fire. Thank you very much. That was a beautiful final DD girl of 2023. Tears, candles. Yeah, well, we're doing the final stream of 23. So thought we'd do a little stream. This is what we do here. Well, it's game changing, that's for sure. Okay, we made a few mistakes in that race. Car's fine. Would anyone like to buy a slightly used BMW from me? Look at the back of it. It's a little bit of cosmetic damage. I'd say grade A, give or take. Active rear wing, modified bonnet, mint condition. I'm in England, yes. We have New Year in 10 minutes. Right, let's return to the lobby. Thank you very much for being a member, Chad Rizzler. Welcome to the cult. The list gets updated. We're also doing the nominations for the winner of 2023. If you've got any names to add to the list, and then I'll probably do it as a video. We'll actually pick out. We'll decide who the winner of 2023 is. So we you know, that list is growing. Very exciting. Right, let's try this next car. The Cadillac, here we go. Might try a different track here though, guys. I did, but I put shader patch. We did the BMW. Let's do Nürburgring, here we go. Thanks for subscribing, Vilda S, welcome. No fireworks in here. People are lighting them outside. I'm just going to... my computer's going to spontaneously combust. We've already driven the Porsche. I wouldn't buy a playseat trophy. That's my hardware recommendation. Do you mean wheels that would work with a playseat trophy? I don't know, like... To be honest, you can just, if you've got a stronger force feedback wheel, you can just turn it down. Is the playseat trophy quite weak? Then like a CSL DD or a CSL Elite or anything that's lighter. I don't know. Like I think the BMW felt a bit better than the Porsche with the default setup, but they're pretty similar. I mean, well, they handle different, but. Same sort of, you know. That's alright, Toka 2 Freak. Bloody hell. They sound pretty good. I think this is probably the better sounding. Bloody hell. I mean, the tyre skid sounds a bit weird in this game. I have turned it up. It does help. The TC sounds a bit weird with these cars. Some new LMDH cars. Why has this got like a plug right in front of us that's vibrating? A dancing plug. I think this might be the better handling of the three cars. Why the lock up there? The good old P-Cars 2 lock-up. So I'm moving the brake bars back to try and get the car to turn in more, but then it just ends up locking up and spinning. I always find the cars are a bit reluctant to turn into the corner on the brakes in Madness engine games. It's like you're just, as I keep saying, it's like you're just taking grip off the rear tyres rather than the car wanting to rotate into the corner. Yeah, it's alright. I mean, as always, if someone liked MS2, they'll like the update. If you're a fan of R-Factor 2 AC, you probably still, you know, well, it'll still feel a bit weird. Runs nicely though. The sound's quite good on these new cars. Graphics are fine. Really does not want to rotate on the brakes, but the more I move the brake bars to the rear, the more we're just going to get snap oversteer. Yeah, it runs nicely in VR. We definitely need to try this on my Quest 3. No fireworks. I don't have any fireworks. Like, the brakes just seem really off on these. Like the, I don't know. Maybe they're not that effective. Maybe that's just how they are. But relative to every other aspect of the car, it's like GT1 brakes. So we've got drum brakes on the vehicle. I mean, you just have to brake sooner, but. I'd definitely say this one's the best of the LMDH cars. Seems to be the less, the more. So the Porsche's like on rails pokey. The BMW's a bit vague and slidey, still grippy because the type of car it is. This one's a good. This is kind of in between the Porsche and the BMW in handling. This is just with default setups. No, I only got the Quest 3 at Christmas. Oh, hello. Happy New Year, guys. Happy New Year. 2023 has gone. 2023 has gone. It's now 2024. 24 is here. What a new year. The number has changed. Woo! We have party music. 2024 is the new year. 2024, drink some beer. 2024, pull on the ear. 2024, it is here. It's a change of the calendar. Take off your trousers, wave them in the air. Take off your trousers like you just don't care. Time to enjoy another year of sim racing. 2024, 2024, open the door and get on the dance floor.
You don't know how to race.
You don't know how to race.
You don't know how to race. You don't know how to race. I'm gonna report you, man.
2024, play Tetris.
I'm gonna report you, man.
2024, play Tetris.
I'm gonna report you, man.
Play Tetris. I'm gonna report you, man. Go home and play Tetris.
I'm gonna report you, man.
Play Tetris.
I'm gonna report you, man. Go home and play Tetris. I'm gonna report you, man. Play Tetris.
Let's go, arbitrary
If you don't know
rotational
how to race,
moments.
please go home and play Tetris.
Tetris. Ah, thank you. Well done, guys, for getting to 2024.
Mind the gap.
Congratulations. Well done for those of you that haven't died. Unlucky for those of you that have. No 2024 achievement for you.
I don't like ACC, but I do like the normalist.
Oh, it's
That's
the first. It's the first of
Probably
2024.
Probably one of
First
the
Max Verstappen of 24.
one of the or not the best
Thanks,
simulation to
Max.
practice, like even F1 or GT mods.
GT mods.
It's really good.
Ah, it's really good. Any other more firsts? We can't. Who's going to be the first DD girl of 2024? Oh wow, there's so many firsts. Happy New Year, Thomas. Well, that's it. It's set in stone now, guys. We have to get a German wife. We need to walk across Scotland. We need to get 15k in CS2, 6k I rating, and I need to become a sim racing thought. That's the 2024 tick list. We can do them. No worries. You haven't had to poo since last year, man. Get ready for some fireworks out the backside. Yeah, wow. Think of all those people watching a firework display in London.
I am the champion of the ninjas.
Oh, Sharky, the first subscriber of 2024. Sadly, that means your genitals fall off. Should have warned you about that. Sorry. Mum. Whoops. Rip. Oh, well, at least he's not going to produce any more sim racer degenerates. So it's not all bad. You've been awake for a year. Ah, no.
I am the champion of the
Oh,
ninjas.
I'm Drake. Thanks for
Did
subscribing.
I start this on New Year's 2 years ago? I put my New Year's resolution bar very low, Kappa.
I'm Drake. Thank you very much for subscribing. Really appreciate it. It's just lawnmowers now. Ah, what a time to be alive. I mean, 2024 is a nice... It is a nice rounded... First spin of 2024. It's a... It's a nice rounded number. You know, 23's a bit off. 24... You know, 2024... I mean, 24-24 will be... Or 2020... You know... 22222. Hang on, will we live? No, we're not going to live to 222, obviously. Well, maybe, who knows? There could be like some new anti-aging development. I've met Vincent in real life times, as I'm sure I've said before. Really, really nice guy. I like he was fun. Teti 4. 2025 is the future. Well, we'll have hover cars by the year 2000. Oh, shit. The year 2000 was in the past. Oh, no. Thought we're supposed to have moon bases by now. Flying cars, hoverboards, moon bases, robot women. Well, we've got DD Girl, so I guess that's a robot woman. We've got VR. One thing's happened. So no one wanted it, but... Oh, well. You don't always get what you want. Oh, my glasses are a bit wonky, guys. Sorry for that. Embarrassing myself here. Wouldn't want to not look smart. I need to get my LED. I'm gonna get some LED lights, actually, like with a battery charger, so these can always glow, rather than using glow sticks, because there's space in it for like LED lights. I think it'll look awesome. Well, it won't. It'll look absolutely stupid, but that's fine. What don't I like? Hang on. What don't you like about the trophy? Because I'm a gypsy and I need the movability. This is so random. Which one's the trophy? Hang on. It might be alright. Just playseat stuff's a bit overpriced, is the problem with playseat. Playseat trophy. In many ways, I'd say just sticking a wheel on a desk works out better. Oh. Oh, no. Yeah, the playseat trophy's probably alright, to be honest. It's just expensive for what it is. I don't think I've used one. No. I've not used one, but it's very expensive for what it is, but maybe it's alright. I'd have to try it. I'd imagine you could put like probably put CSLDD on it. Do you like dogs? I need to try one of these. Yeah, I'd just say put like a CSLDD on it. Something along those lines. Are you in the UK? I don't think people really refer to people as gypsies in the UK. Is that actually a correct term? Hang on. All right. Okay. So. Yeah, you know, I've heard people say Romani, but yeah, I don't know. Well, apparently, yeah, I think you get a lot more gypsies in Europe, but Wikipedia says a member of a group of people who travel from place to place, especially in Europe, and who originally come from northern India, or anyone who travels often. I know people use it as an insult, that's the thing. Here we go. I don't know if people prefer to be called a gypsy or a traveller. I don't know what the correct... right, okay. Yeah, I mean, I have nothing against people. I'm sort of envious of that. I'd love to travel around like that. To be honest. when I lived in France, there was quite a lot of resentment to gypsies. I can understand how if someone's got a bit of land and then a whole bunch of people move into that land illegally, I can see why it would annoy people. But, you know, there's going to be lots of different, you know, there'll be gypsy communities that are idiots and there'll be gypsy communities that are really nice, so, you know. I think countries should actually have like all countries in Europe should have facilities for people to be able to be nomadic as a lifestyle choice. So like how you have caravan places, you know, like campsites. You could have campsites that are specifically designed for people that want to be nomadic, and you have like you aim to have a certain amount of those locations in different places and make it so it's as affordable as possible, and, you know, just as you know, as whatever is the most logistically possible thing. That'd be awesome. I know the point would be is that anyone could use it, like how you have campsites on the Oregon Trail and stuff. Hello Spitfire, yeah, Happy New Year everyone as well. Yeah, like it's not just for X group of people, but like the idea would be homeless people could use it, gypsies could use it, travellers could use it, anyone could use it. Do you know what I mean? Not as a frowned upon thing. Would seem like quite a good something to aim for. Basic location that's cheap, got toilet facilities, barbecue area, some kind of rubbish facility, you know, and the idea is that you could set up a tent, and maybe also like you could use it as a place to target education and stuff. How would they tax them? Well, you could still have fees for it. I don't know, there's probably ways around it. I don't know. Who's paying for this? What do you mean? I fund it with donations. It's like saying who pays for like lawn mowing for like areas. What? Who's paying for billionaires that are putting money in tax havens? They can pay for it. There you go. I mean, it doesn't work like that. That's not how money works. But like, if you want to think of it like that, how about you tax? You make it so that to operate in a country, you remove tax loopholes, and it's the same sort of funding that would go into public footpaths. Well, then they're not allowed to stay in the country or operate in the country. Done. Yeah, well then they can't live in the country. Sorted. You aggressively close tax loopholes. Done. It's that simple. Oh, you're not... We can see that you're earning X amount from businesses that you are involved in. We can see that you're not paying the amount of tax relative to, you know, how much you've got, what you're involved in. Well, sorry. People don't ask that question for if you're like a normal self-employed person or like you're doing a job. They have to pay tax. They work, they spend time, their lifetime, doing a job, and then they are taxed massively for stuff that they're spending their time doing. We just accept that, that's fine. And you know, but why don't we apply the same logic to someone that's got hundreds of millions or billions? It doesn't make any sense. So we should have really nice public areas. And ironically, if you invest in education and these things, it actually makes it nice. It makes countries nicer for the rich people as well. So Well, yeah, that's the thing, isn't it? I think inheritance tax is probably one of the big ones you could address, because it's ridiculous. Like, in the UK you can inherit £250,000 tax-free or something. I think it's around about that. It might be like 270. It's quite a lot of money for like an individual. Someone Google it. How much can you inherit tax-free? Hang on. You make 48,000 in the last. Yeah, but have you bought anything with that crypto? Have you moved that crypto into a actual currency or asset? Well, if you haven't, then you're not going to be taxed on it, are you? The moment you transfer that wealth that you've earned, like let's say I bought gold, and then gold went up by a factor of 10. The moment I turn that gold into pounds, that's when you pay tax on it. Or I don't know, it depends whatever's classed as a taxable asset, but like, you'd have to work it out. It's in your current account. Well, I don't know. What you need to do is speak to a financial advisor, and then make sure it's in the most tax efficient thing. Happy New Year! £325,000 tax-free from inheritance. It's ridiculous because most people don't have parents that have £325,000. The only people that do are people whose parents looked into property years ago, or grandparents who looked into property, which is of no skill of a great-grandchild. Why should they be receiving that money? Like, they haven't done anything. Doesn't make any sense. Oh, well done. Well done. You happen to have relatives that happen to have bought a property in an area where property prices have risen. Therefore, you now receive this lump sum of money that's completely disproportionate to what you would normally earn doing a normal job and spending your time doing work. Well done. It's absurd. Why pay tax on something that's already been taxed? I don't know what you mean. I don't know what you're referring to. Baiting. Drunk from Dublin. Oh no. The worst drunks are in Dublin. I've never been to Dublin. No, so the way that money exists. I don't know why this is hard to understand. Money exists as an arbitrary token to facilitate being able to distribute time, goods, and try to enable efficiency increases in a society. That's the point of money. That should be the point of money. Literally just a token to facilitate the exchange of goods and make things more efficient. So it doesn't matter if you have enough tokens to live comfortably and to have a reasonable amount of free will. That is the point. And by the time you've got a house, £300,000 of saving, and you know, if you're like a multi-millionaire, if you have £5 million in a diversified portfolio, you can generate £5,000 a month from that. That's never going to disappear. You're never going to lose it. Like, you would have to get rid of your initial 5 million, which you can't lose.
3, 2,
oh!
1, go!
It's just tax avoidance. Thank you very much, Sana. The problem is, most people have jobs where you work. Every hour you work, you get paid like £10, £11 or whatever, right? So people associate money with labour hours, which is just not how money works at all. It's not the point of money. That's how it works, as a way to enslave a population to go along with some arbitrary power structure. It works great for that, but that's not really well, it is the point of money, actually. It's a great way of making people feel as if they're free when they're not. But yeah, well, I know, Kevin. I'm saying that still, even if it's house or cash or whatever, it doesn't really matter, does it? The point is, £350,000 completely tax-free is a ridiculous amount of money to just get from inheritance, and that's per person, isn't it? So your grandparents, you can inherit 350 from your grandparents. You could then inherit 350 from each parent. Hello, Boris. Oh, thank you. I really appreciate it. What is it? Three? Is it? What's it? Three? Oh, so if they're married, that would class as a separate thing. Why am I so envious? What do you mean? I'm not envious. I've inherited money. I've done all right. I'm on the bullshit side of stuff. I've been very lucky with YouTube. My parents are middle class. I'm saying that, like, I should be taxed more in some scenarios. I don't care. Like, if I'm comfortable, my view is, if you're comfortable, you're comfortable. Like, you don't need any more. Like, I'm not envious. I've been really lucky. I'm playing driving sims and people are sending me money over the internet. Can't get, it's what I enjoy doing. Who cares if they inherit money without tax? So the problem is that you then have wealth accumulation upwards. So, as I said, the point of money is that you want it to be distributed as evenly across a society as much as possible. And the reason for that is it means you're more likely to get innovation. If you had, let's say you have 100 people and they all had the same amount of money each, they all have an equal opportunity to start their own business, do their own things with the money. Or obviously out of those 100 people, 20 of them might be quite entrepreneurial or good at doing stuff, but you'd want it so those 20 people that are good at that have an equal opportunity between each other to pursue what they think is going to be the best thing to do. So it basically means they're more likely to be innovative, they're more likely to do something more efficient. The rest might waste the money or do whatever. But the problem is, if you have one of those people, or it's more like 1 in 100,000 people that has so much more wealth than 100,000 people, well, that means that those other 100,000 people are not in a position to start their own business, do some research and development themselves, do like programming and come up with new video games, do art, do whatever, or go and do a degree in something. Like that's what you need. You need you need the wealth to be evenly distributed for a country to actually operate properly. You keep loving giving money to a few. Yeah, well, Exactly, Renovato. Yeah, I've benefited from this completely messed up capitalist system. So, I mean, really, I should just shut up. I should just shut up entirely and just go, oh, it's all fine. Don't worry, guys. It's all fine, guys. I've done all right, so it's fine. Your sis had to sign our family home here over to me to avoid tax there, where she bought the house, England, to avoid paying tax. Well, it's probably to do with, like, your nationality and your, like, the resident status and how that all operates. I don't know, or how much income she has and other stuff. Oh, but stamp duty. So if a house has to be over what, 250,000 before you start. Hang on. How expensive does a house have to be before you pay stamp duty? UK. I think it's 250, 270. Yeah. So how much is stamp duty in the UK? I think it's like 12%. Might be 20. Oh, here you go. Right. Stamp duty. So basically, if you buy a house in the UK, £250,000, there's no fixed tax rate on that. The next 675,000 is 5%. So, and that's applied to the portion from 250 to 2. You still don't pay the tax on the first 250. So that's like a house in London. Like in the UK, you're only going to pay stamp duty on like 100 to 200,000 if you were buying like a 4-bedroom house in certain locations. That's it. Exactly. Got the Hessenfeld Kool-Aid sign. Yeah, well, she shouldn't be paying stamp duty on that. Oh, okay, well, maybe back then. Happy 2008. Right, let's try a GTE car. What was it? The new... Oh no, I'm going to have to make a new server here. This is stuck. Can you change the class? No, we'll make a new server. Well, I'm not giving tax advice. This is pretty basic stuff. Oh, hang on, it's 24 hours to more a new part of it, the new track. Yeah, what do you mean, Kevin Lewis? All money is being taxed multiple times. It doesn't matter. Like, it's the equivalent. It's exactly the same as if you were to be paying just more tax. Like, it really doesn't matter. Like, the question would be who is being taxed and to what extent. If it's someone that's not got enough money, or if you're taxing lower income earners or people that have less money, that is more of a problem than if you're taxing someone that has a surplus of money. So once you've in the UK at least, yeah, that's just every government takes what it wants. That doesn't mean anything. That's just how governments work. In the UK, if you earn over £200,000 a year and you own a house that you paid off, you are very, very, very comfortable. Like, you know, you can, maybe not in central London, but like in most places in the UK, well, if you're in central London, you bought your house outright. So you own a house and you earn 200,000 a year, or even if you earn 100,000 a year, and you own a house, and I'm saying 100,000 after tax, so you earn 140,000 pound a year before tax. You own a house outright. You are so ridiculously comfortable. You could afford the most expensive healthcare, which you don't need necessarily in the UK because of the healthcare thing's a bit weird. But like, you could have that. You'd have a luxury house. You could buy whatever food you want. You could eat at any restaurant you want. You could have a really nice, super luxury car. You could go on holiday whenever you want. You could fly wherever. Do you know what I mean? Like, and the people that have the money that needs to be taxed more have way more money than that. The problem is people think when you talk about tax stuff and people being taxed more, they think you're talking about people earning 20, 30, 40,000 pound a year. That's not what anybody is saying. Yeah, but okay, so so your friend made 2 million quid. How much did he say he made? Right. So someone you were in school with. Okay, so he's made. Oh no, this has done the black screen thing. He's made 2 million quid in what? In a year? Like in what time period? He's still made a ridiculous amount of money through not actually doing any work. So even if, right, so you absolutely luck out on Bitcoin or something when it takes off. And you've not done any work. You've just lucked out. Like, you could argue other people have lucked out on other things and they should be taxed more as well, whatever. But like, you've not put time into it. you've just, you know, nobody predicted that Bitcoin would make as much money as it did. So you make that 2 million. Oh, well, even if you had to pay 60-70% of it to the government, which you wouldn't, you're still well bloody up for not doing anything. Do you know what I mean? Like, you once you've got like let's say you got a million and a half, well, that's your retirement fund is basically done. And how much interest, right? How much monthly interest would you expect to get from £1 million? So 4% interest rate. Obviously, the inflation's quite high, but you wouldn't just put it in a savings account. But if you were just getting 4%, I think a normal savings account off $1 million, you could probably get like what 7%, probably more than that. So 2%, and it would you would basically be getting 2%. In terms of like you'd be putting the interest into the account so that you're not losing money to inflation. So 2% of $1 million is 1,666. So yeah, if you've got £1 million invested because you don't need that cash to buy anything because you've just spontaneously got £1 million, you've got enough money to basically rent anywhere in perpetuity whilst also having a retirement fund because that money would still be invested. And when you get to like 60, 50 or whatever, you could then take it out of the retirement fund or work out some like strategy for doing. So it's irrelevant. Like your life is sorted at that point. Like you've financially passed the threshold of required money to have to not worry about money ever again because of the way this system's structured. So yeah, who cares if the government took half of your 2 million that you accidentally made? It wouldn't matter. You get to a sum of money where it just doesn't matter. Like, fine if you were then planning to do other business stuff, but if you had 2 million and you lost $500,000 but to taxes and you still had $1 million, you would have enough money each month to be able to pursue whatever business thing you wanted to do anyway. And if you're doing business, you don't risk your own money. You put together a business plan, a business idea. You're paying for your own wage, which is about whatever you pay your own wage, but that's already covered by that. And then your business idea would be good enough that you go to investors and you say, oh, I'm financially secure. I'm putting in some of my own money into it, but you really don't risk your own money with business. That's you risk other people's money. That's how business works. You win a gold-plated dinner. Thanks for that card, mate. That's great. Oh dear. Yeah. So basically, so how much do you need? I mean, I think I'd be I could live off 1,600 a month. That's £380 weekly. So yeah, you could probably get more than that if you invested it differently. That's a really risk adverse investment. Happy New Year, The Shine. Nick Labby, do I think Reza can fix AMS2 and save it? No, probably not anymore. No, I don't know. Like it would have to be so like I think they've done as good a job as you could possibly do with this physics engine. But it's nowhere near as good as it doesn't drive as good as AC or even AMS1, does it? Really? So no, I don't think they can. I think they've done a really good job with the engine, but they would have to get into the source code and fundamentally change the physics at a deeper level, I think, to actually address this. But hopefully the new, the new madness. What's it called? The Straight 4 GT Legends. Because Arisa are really good at doing car content, so I mean, there's no reason why they need to stick with this game engine. They've done as good a job as I think they could possibly want that you could do with this. I think you can still get it and have a fun time playing it. It's got great AI. It's just it depends how if you're experienced with driving sims, or you're like looking for like real. I don't think you could. You just wouldn't recommend this as a sim to a real driver that was training. You would not recommend this to them. Like I would expect them to sue me if I did that. Like, I would be like, they would be like, well, why are you recommend? Like, they'd say you maybe for dirt racing, the off-road racing, but not for the track racing. But it's great it works well in VR. The AI is fun, so you can get good gameplay from it. The graphics are nice. You can create games quickly. But yeah, what was it? GTE cars? What are they called? The GT3 Gen 2, is that right? These are new ones. Yeah, I mean, the difficulty for AMS2 is AC is basically free, has low fuel motorsport ranked racing, has the cruising mode, has better physics, better force feedback. So it's it's difficult to really. This is a package you can just get though, so you do have to set AC up, which some people might not like. I'm going to try this Gen 2 Porsche. Yeah, I don't know. I like how AC looks with shader patch, to be honest. I quite like how AMS2 looks as well. But I'd say I mean I quite like how iRacing and Race Room look, to be honest. I'm not picky on it. I think once you pass a certain threshold in graphics quality for a driving sim, it's good enough. Like back in the day, I'd say R Factor 1 doesn't look good enough. But say like AC, R Factor 2 can look pretty good at times as well, even though that looks a bit scratchy. And iRacing can look pretty good at times, even though it's a bit artificial. R Factor 2 is weird. R Factor 2 can look absolutely terrible at times, and then it can also look quite good at times. It's a bit of a weird sim in that way. Right, let's just create a session with this. Yeah, I mean you can always try it, can't you? You can give it a go and then you can refund it if you don't like it. It's a nice thing with Steam. Right, let's just do this. Same class and we'll see what it's like. Go. Yeah, I've got Rainsport. So I played it before Christmas, but then I didn't have a chance to upload a video. I played it a bit though. Yeah, some of the cars in Rainsport are fine. I would say no, AC definitely handles better. I think R Factor 2 is better than Rainsport and AC is. I quite like how aspects of Rainsport are to drive, but its force feedback's a bit muddy and vague. And and it still feels like it's in alpha. It doesn't even feel like beta. So the new mod track they've got looks quite nice. I mean, actually, it's got a nice flow to it. But yeah, like Rennsport to me feels like it's in kind of race room territory, where it's in a bit of a position where they need to. I think they just should have worked on it for another 2 or 3 years before even announcing it, to be honest. And I think it could have dropped with a bit of fanfare, a mixed bit of content, and the online racing. But I don't know. Rennsport's weird. I don't like. It's not bad to drive. It's not. It's. I feel like for a new sim, I want it to be better than AC or R Factor 2, if that makes sense. So even though something's not bad, if it's not better than sims that came out 10 years ago, I'm kind of like, well, no, they can look nicer, they can have other features, but if the force feedback and physics are not the same or better than 10-year-old sims, then I'm like, well, what's the point? Yeah, what's the point from a perspective of someone that could just play AC or R Factor 2 or even iRacing or something? Oh yeah, that'd be really good. Yeah. I think that there's going to be new games announced next year, which will sim racers will like as well. So that'll be interesting to see. Well, it doesn't have to be better. It could be the same but different. Hello, Turge. Happy New Year, matey. Cheers. First tea of the year. Yeah. If you wanted to set up a server with your friends, that's a good thing in this. See. Probably a bit high field of view on this. Frankie Donk, hello man, how's it going? Happy New Year. Well, this year, my plan this year, well, first of all, we've got a nomination list for the winner of 2023. That's the list we put together. 2024 goals for this year: German wife, walk across Scotland, 15k in CS2, 6k I rating, and become a sim racing thought. Sorted. Hello, Mr. James Red. Yeah, the problem with Race Room is I actually like it, and I really like the Race Room developers. Oh, hang on. This is Donington. Left. The problem with Race Room, I'm just running over my pit guy, is it's not as good as AC. So it's like, do you play? Fucking hell, calm down. Do you play Race Room, which is great, like I enjoy how it handles and everything, or low fill motorsport, AC, any mod track, any car, better force feedback, better physics, better tyre model? That's the problem. It's just it's an unfortunate problem with sims. It's like, as I said, it's an issue with flight sim. It's like, why I'm not even going to bother loading up X-Plane when you've got Microsoft Flight Sim to play, even though I think X-Plane has better physics. No, that's not true. No, look, people seem to struggle with this. I know you're just trolling, Skyworld, but like, the fact is, there's going to be a sim that's more realistic than others or better than others, regardless of if someone's a fan of it or not. There is going to be one sim that's better. The same with flight sims. So It's not a case of nothing will be better. It's like, no, it's just because someone can identify, because they're not stupid and they know what's more or less realistic. Just because they can identify that and then point to the specific thing that's currently the best doesn't mean that something can't better it. That's going to be the case. If you've got something with objective qualities, there will be something that is the best. In which case, you can't go, oh, well, that person's just a fanboy because they like that thing. It's like, well, no, they just know what the best thing is. Like, Microsoft Flight Sim has worse physics than X-Plane 11, generally speaking, not everything in it. But it's the best overall flight sim, so... But I mean, I think DCS is better overall, but, you know... Hello, Mayonnaise! Happy New Year! Anyway, just ignore everything Skywilk says. It depends how turnkey you want your racing experience. Race room. Well, you say that. So, right. So, first of all, you could play AC stock content is better than anything in race room or AMS2. I mean, anything in AMS1 is better than anything in AMS2. I would argue is more realistic. So, and then, I mean, really, yeah, okay, turnkey, fine, you can install the game, but you still, the problem with any driving sim, no, Skywilk, no, it's if a game drives more or less like a real car, AC happens to drive, aspects of AC aren't as realistic. No, I don't believe AC is the most realistic. It is the most realistic. For how the tyres are at the limit, it's not believe, it's a fact. It's just an objective fact. It is... That's the most realistic. I'm sorry. Like, deal with it. It's not about belief. I like how iRacing handles until you get to the limit. I prefer how iRacing handles under the limit to AC. But yeah, the turnkey thing, the issue with the turnkey thing is that for any simulator, you have to install so much stuff and sort out wheels and everything. The turnkey aspect of jump in and go is kind of
I don't like ACC, but I do like the Normalist. But that is amazing. So it's probably one of the well, one of the or not the best simulation to practice, like even F1 or GT mods.
This guy doesn't know what he's talking about. You know, like the problem with Microsoft Flight Sim or DCS or whatever, any of these simulators.
I don't like ACC, but I do like the Normalist. So that is amazing.
Any of those sims, you have to spend so long setting up your joysticks. The fact that you might have to download a mod or a separate thing is utterly irrelevant on the grand scheme of how turnkey something is.
It's really good.
It's Jody. It's always a repeat because we have morons in the chat that just say the same thing over and over again and ignore the Saint Verstappen of Max. Yeah. I'd say the thing with Race Room compared to AC or iRacing or R Factor 2 is that Race Room's cars are a little bit sluggish to respond. Polyphony, thanks for subscribing. Welcome, appreciate that. So R Factor 2, iRacing, AMS 1 feel more direct than Race Room. Race Room, yeah, it's like the slides are quite drawn out, which makes it more forgiving to drive in many ways. You know, I mean, I quite like how Race Room drives, so it's not this terrible. Well, it's like WRC, isn't it? Where like you can basically catch anything in AMS2. you can absolutely power slide around corners, and it's very the slides are like really slow, and the grip loss is really slow, and so you have plenty of time to catch a slide. You don't have to be super precise to not spin or anything. Which, I mean, to be fair, like real cars are quite forgiving in many ways as well, but you can sort of recover anything in AMS2 mostly, apart from when you trail brake too hard and the rears lock up. Yeah, but AC is much closer to how much you can control a real car. But yeah, I would agree that AC allows you to... it's slower than real cars and allows you to catch stuff that you might not be able to catch with real cars. But it's not even in the same ballpark as AMS2, though. Like, it would be half... like twice as snappy as MS2 and twice as less forgiving, if that makes sense. Of all the driving sims, AMS2 is the most accommodating for really bad driving. Yeah, ACC is just shit. We don't talk about ACC. ACC is just DDR with cars. You don't spin in ACC, but you don't have control of the vehicle. It just does like a crappy little slide that you just have to wait. Thanks for subscribing, welcome. Why does Jardier play it so much? Because it's I think he likes GT3 cars and he likes the online competition event LFM, and you get good viewership on LFM with ACC, especially if he became like this sort of default ACC streamer and he's good at it. So, that's probably why. Twice is less than half as much. I need to try that other game. Not Hell. What's the other one? What's the other game that's like Hell Let Loose? Start to get more players again. Well, look, again, I keep saying this. You would never recommend a real-world driver train in AMS2. It would be stupid. Like, I have had real drivers, people that intend to buy, like, do proper race driving, people that buy sports cars and race cars, and they go, oh, what sim do you think is the best to practice on or train with. And I'll be like, I think AC is probably the closest, generally speaking, without the tyres on. You'll be able to get you can modify a car and you can get the track that you're going to be driving on. But obviously, it's nowhere near as dynamic as a real racetrack. And you're going to have to, like if you've got a real specific car and you wanted to get close, you're going to have to get a mod team to develop the car to what you want. And then I would say,
or not the best simulation to practice.
I mean,
like,
R-Factor 2 as well.
Even F1 or GT mods.
And I'd also say that iRacing is also great because it's so unforgiving at the limit. You have to be careful that you don't negatively train the sense of not being able to drive at the limit and learn and basically underdrive a real car as a result. But you could, or the tracks in iRacing and you can use it as a really good training tool. So that's what you'd say to a real driver. That would be the advice. That would be the consulting advice. If someone said, "What shall I use to train with?" and you said AMS2, like you just wouldn't. Like what you would say, and this has also been advice that I've given, is if someone's got a product launch, like I don't know, they've got monitors or TVs that they're doing a product launch with, and they were like, "Oh, what sim would be convenient for us to license or use for a product launch, or like for a trade show or something?" Well, or with a VR headset, you would say, "Oh, AMS2 would be fantastic for that situation. It's got lots of cars in it, lots of tracks. It will run quite well. It'd be really great as a demo for OLED screens. Really great for a demo for a VR headset. It's fairly easy to set up and do a 2-lap race or something for people to jump on. Great for a trade show environment. Great for motion rig demonstration." That is what you would use. That's what AMS2 can be used for and be really good for. So, and I've recommended AMS2 for 2 businesses for that use. Race Beyond Matter, hello. I can't see him. Just assume he's there. Happy New Year! Let's get racing here. I don't know what wheel settings I'm doing. I'll probably do a force feedback guide at some point. I'm just using the default plus force feedback in the game. 3 Echo. No, I don't have any expectation that it will. I'd like it to. It'd be really nice for AC2 to have mod support like AC, maybe support old mods somehow, and for it to just have take advantage of like newer graphics engine stuff like Pure and stuff, for it to all be in a package. That'd be really nice. But I just don't like with any video game. It's not like an AC thing or. It's very rare within video games that sequels are better than the prequel when a developer gets a prequel right. Even when they do a good job with a new game. So like Counter-Strike Source is quite a good job. It was worse in many ways than the previous Counter-Strike, or just different. Counter-Strike 2 I've really enjoyed though, strangely. But yeah, you know, generally I'd just wait. You just have to wait like after. To see what it's like when it comes out. Just don't have any expectations. So it's the same with anything. I was really surprised with how good the DJI Pocket 3 is. Amazing. The Quest 3 I'd say is a really, really good device, and the Steam Deck, those 3 things really surprised me. Genuinely really good devices. And you know, like LFM came out of nowhere for AC. That's been absolutely fantastic. I mean, I'd probably pick different cars and tracks and stuff, but it's been great fun. Yeah, like the rank racing for R-Factor 2 and their new user interface is really nice. You know, you just have to don't preempt things that are going to be fun, because often the good stuff comes out of the blue in weird ways you don't expect. Yeah, well, what tends to happen, what developers tend to do is rather than adding the features that were missing and keeping the good features, they tend to arbitrarily shuffle features around and get rid of good features and then put some other thing that no one wanted in. It's really stupid. So it's like Battlefield games. It's like, oh, Battlefield 3, improved netcode, improved graphics, improved the maps. But then, well, improve some maps, and then okay, and we've got some of the new features, but it was a bit laggy with certain scenarios. Some of the weapons weren't balanced, the spawning wasn't balanced, and they changed the spawning system, so it basically plays like a totally different game. So it's like, if they'd just done Battlefield 2 or Battlefield 1942, but with the new graphics engine, the new netcode, and then did design maps, it'd be like, fuck, that'd be amazing. And then Battlefield 4, they just went completely arbitrary. Oh, we changed the maps totally. We've changed the netcode and made it worse in many ways than it was in Battlefield 3. We've made the maps bigger but actually smaller in how they play. It's like it's insane. Oh, no. Yeah, Bad Company 2 actually... So Bad Company 2 actually had really good maps, but Bad Company 2... was designed as a console game, so it had really small maps and was basically balanced as if it was for games console. I really enjoyed Bad Company 2, and the single player was good in Bad Company 1 as well. Yeah, it's weird, isn't it? That's just what. So you just have to hope that some indie developer comes out with a new game that's good. Yeah, the writing was good. Yeah. Like, the thing is, with AMS2... Oh, shit. Why is my car not slowing down? Sorry. The braking's catching me out here. I don't know why I'm struggling to brake. I don't think the cars slow down as much in AMS2 as they do in... or the brakes... The cars respond slower to the brakes than they do in AC and iRacing and Race Room. Yeah, like... This drive's way more detailed and more interesting than Gran Turismo. So, you know, I mean, you know, it depends what you're comparing stuff to. Yeah, it's not cold tyres. We've got tyre blankets on, and also cold tyres still slow down. Bloody cold tyres. That's not how cold tyres work. There's a stupid myth in sim racing about cold... It's like... When you've got cold tyres in a real car, it behaves correspondingly to the corners, as well as braking, as well as accelerating. It's not that just one thing is massively out of whack. Well, sometimes it can be, but you know, generally speaking, you're like, oh, you wouldn't make the first, you'd just understeer more through the first corner. It wouldn't be that you can turn in really perfectly, and then brakes don't work. Cold heart. GT and Forza are a waste of dollars. Lol. Probably, it is New Year's Day, so they're all off the rocker. Well, the problem with Sims is, as I was saying with flight sims, if a sim exists that is better with the physics, it's hard to then play a sim where like the point of a sim is the physics mostly. That's generally the key point. So if you are aware of a game that drives more realistically, why would you play the game that drives worse? It doesn't make any sense, does it? Like, if you have Microsoft Flight Sim, why would you play a flight sim that flies worse? Well, especially once the graphics have like, we're not talking about the other features being like so massively different, and in many cases, you know, like AC looks fantastic with Soul, or you know, so and Pure. Well, that is true. They do run like shit. Flight Sim's got a lot better in more recent updates. I've found performance-wise. God knows what's going on with DCS, but DCS is like the only combat flight simulator, so. I want a new IL2. I know there is a new IL2, but like I would, you know how Microsoft Combat Flight Simulator was? I would like something like that with like UK. I know there's an IL2 Dover, Cliffs of Dover, but like I want a Microsoft Combat Flight Simulator that's set in the UK and France. Battle of Britain, and you have dogfight stuff. It's set out as a single player that happens in real time with World War II, in time with the real battles that happened, with the progress of technology, and you have an airfield that you're at with real characters which are procedurally generated that you get to know, and they've got dialogue. They use AI dialogue. And they die in the fights, so you don't want them to die because they have personalities with the AI, and that would be the point of that would be to really, you know, you leverage the sort of actual insanity of real World War II dogfighting, where you would go out with the, you know, the people just keep dying, and then you'd have like you'd have newbie pilots that were young with a bit of backstory. It's so obvious. So that is a single player. You know, I don't know why games have to be so dull. Yeah, it can have VR as well. It could be like a roguelite as well, so you have to try and stay alive as long as possible. If you die, that's it. But then also, if it's like a roguelite, or roguelike, I don't know the correct term, it could be that if you keep your teammates alive, that makes them higher skilled, and they get more experience, and then they do less stupid stuff. But then you could occasionally have a character that's like, you know, you meet him on the ground and he's like drunk, or he doesn't take it seriously, and then when he's in the air, he's like does erratic stuff, and you're like, you know, even if it was like a pre-baked, predetermined story, there's just stuff you could do, but I don't know. It's really boring, isn't it? There's no interest in doing this sort of stuff. Maybe they will do in the future. I think the problem is that type of game would only ever come from an indie, and then this is one of the things I think with AI tools will allow for these types of games to be made. The problem with GT is that it's lost its salt. Well, what? Don't know what's going on there. Thanks for subscribing. Welcome. The problem with GT is there's no depth of force feedback in its clipping. The frame rate is locked at 60 Hz, at least last time I played it. Even when you run at 120 Hz, it's got loads of input delay. The cars drive in a really bland way, which is predominantly understeery, where you have to drive. You have to drive everything in GT as if it was a rental car. Really weird. Tracks are nice, graphics are fine, but yeah, it's just a bit. It drives like a PC sim would drive like from 20 years ago, and apparently that's fine. Apparently we're just you just go, oh, it's on console, so that's all right. It's like, well, hang on, PCs exist. Why is it that if something's on console, people like delete their brain from the fact that PCs exist? Like, I mean, I think Steam Deck might help this, because Steam Deck's a console, and then people will be like, oh, hang on a minute, why is GT so dated and shit compared to Automobilista 2 that's on the Steam Deck? And why does it look worse in some ways than Automobilista 2 on the Steam Deck? Do you know what I mean? Like that I think, and I think as more PC sims get released on console, that might make people go, hang on. Oh, they probably won't question it because there's so much marketing behind GT, and it does play nicely with the gamepad, so I think that's what it's designed for. Yeah, there's no dynamic range in the force feedback in GT, so, and you really need to avoid the oversteer, because otherwise, with the slick tyres, the road car tyres aren't the same, but it's just bland. It's just so bland to drive. But yeah, I think it's dull with a gamepad, but at least for road cars. This is what I don't get with GT. It doesn't have like a proper single player. Even with the update, it doesn't have like the original Gran Turismo single player with all the missions and everything you do. Even though it's a grind, even though it's a bit simplistic, it made sense and it worked well for like the whole just trying to be as perfect as possible with timing and everything. It's like they didn't understand even that, and then they do. I don't know. It's really weird, but marketing fixes everything. Right, I need to go to bed, guys. I'm knackered. We've done like almost 12 hours of live streaming, which is far too long. It's a new year. We've got the nominations for the winner of 2023. We will have to decide who the winner of 2023 is. Thanks to everyone that's been a subscriber and followed us. We will do the new list of we'll update the cult member list. Hopefully we're above 301. We're on 149 subscribers on Twitch. I think we're on more. We got more subs on YouTube. We've got some on Patreon as well. But yeah, welcome to 2024. 0101 2024. What a time. As for AMS2, game changing. Absolutely game changing. I mean, the new cars seem pretty fine, you know. There's something to drive, isn't it? It's fine. It's fine. You know. Yeah. Have a good night, guys. Appreciate you all watching. Appreciate all the like button clicking and everything as well. Take care. Have a good one. Game changed. Take care, guys. Goodbye.